You are welcome back to school.
Thank you, Mrs. Addison.
We are going back to our classes, and I am encouraging you to pay attention to your teachers. You do your work, you write your work well. If you understand anything, you ask your teacher to explain.
She spoke with calm conviction, and every word carried grace, purpose, and vision. To her, education was not just lessons. It was love, discipline, and hope in motion. Today, we celebrate not just a school, but a woman whose voice continues to echo through generations of learners. Before the light of her vision shone in classrooms, before the name God's Grace International School was ever spoken, there was Sekondi, where the sea meets the soul. It was here in Ghana's western region that destiny began its quiet work, shaping a child whose laughter carried promise. From the rhythm of the tides, she learned patience. From the warmth of her roots, she drew strength. And though she would one day build dreams and shape minds, it all began here, in the humble, timeless beauty of Sekondi.
My name is Mrs. Benedicta Mimi Wontumi. The late Mrs. Joan Addison was born on the 9th December 1951 at Sekondi in the western region of Ghana. Her parents were Mr. Emmanuel A.K. Payne and Madam Justina Luque, all of blessed memory. She started her education at Methodist Girls Primary School in Sekondi. She trained as a teacher at Holy Child Girls College in Takrady. She continued at Maria Montessori and Swavson School of Music in United Kingdom because of her love for music and children. She later furthered her education at Cape Coast University, where she graduated with degree in basic education, and then to JIMPA for her executive masters in business administration. She spent her early days in Sekondi, where she was a chorister in the Wesley Methodist Church. She acted plays, recited poems at school and church. And one unique thing she did was that she gathered the children in the vicinity and taught them and helped them to do their school assignments. She was cheerful, outspoken, intelligent, and hardworking.
So Mrs. Addison was she was the same. She didn't put up a front. So how she was at school was the same way she was at home. Very loving, very cheerful, always singing, but also very disciplined, and she expected the best from all of us at home. I remember all the times we had to wake up very early in the morning, have our morning devotion, and we had to be ready by 5 a.m. You had to do things right, and so that was how she was at home. She enjoyed family time together with us, and she always made sure that things that brought the family together were done at home. So Sunday afternoon lunches, going to church together, going to programs together, and she was always the life of every function. So that's how she was.
I am Johnson Odame, head of the primary department. I joined God's Grace International School in the year 2002.
Yes, my name is Paul Entry. I've been working with God Grace for the past 33 years now.
My name is Mrs. Doris Glory Segbaji Webb. I've been here for about 35 years now.
Yes, so my name is Jesse Bafudan. So officially, I started teaching in God's Way since 2004 when I started my tertiary education. So I've been teaching at school for a long while. I was then in the primary department, and in 2012 I moved to the JHS department to handle computing till now.
I was fortunate to have a direct contact. By that I mean, I worked with Mrs. Addison in class 6. We were then teaching English language. When it comes to her work ethics, I would say that Madame was very dedicated and committed educationist. On her professionalism, Madame approached her work with love, patience to both students and parents. Her ultimate aim was to ensure that all case that passes through her hands will be successful in future.
Mrs. Addison is my aunt. I used to call her Mama, and I relate to her on 3 levels: as a family member, an old student, and as a staff or a teacher. As a family member, I can say that Mrs. Addison was very caring. She was a mother, and her house received a lot of family members. I can mention a lot of cousins. When they come from Takrady, Sekondi, they go and stay at her house at Tessan. I used to stay there. When I came down from UK as a small child with my brother, that's where we stayed first before we moved on to another auntie's house. Later on, going to JHS, I went to stay there. As an old student, I'm saying an old student because when I came, I joined Uni Charles. God's Grace was then called Uni Charles, and it started in her residence. So I'm one of the pioneering students of God's Grace. When I started at Uni Charles, I was there, but I'm older than the school. So when I got to KG, I had to move to another school, and she helped me there as a teacher. When I was in SS, I used to help out in the JHS department and the primary department.
Yeah, Mrs. Addison was the same at home and the same at work. He wasn't different at home and different at work. He was very plain, very straight, both at home and at work.
She's a strict woman when it comes to her work. As much as she's loving, she's very strict. Her yes is her yes and her no is her no. And that's what I remember about Mrs. Joan Addison.
Yeah, during Uni Charles Day, I remember Mrs. Ruby Ejay. She was the then headmistress of the lower grade. And then I remember Mrs. Anne Mercy Anku. And I remember Miss Jane Akins, Edna Latte, Miss Barbara Amable. And then I remember Lydia also. I think for now, Jane Akins, the late Miss Anita Dankwa, Edna Latte, I remember all of them. Mrs. Agnes Oboshisai Edu was also part of us by then. Just to mention but a few.
Madam Joan Bannacle, late Joan Bannacle Addison, had a vision to own her own school. So she resigned as a teacher from Christ the King International School and set up Uni Charles Nursery Kindergarten School in the year 1987 with 2 teachers and 4 children at her residence in Tesano. When the population of the school increased, there was the need to relocate to a bigger school. So she acquired one plot and later got the extra 2 plots by the grace of God. Remembering what the Lord has done and how far she had brought her, she renamed the school God's Grace International School with the motto God's Grace is Sufficient in the year 1992.
That's an interesting question, and I don't even know where to begin. But let me start from the beginning. I am the youngest son of Mrs. Addison. I have an older brother, Charles. So some would say that I was pampered as the youngest son. And so my experiences would be a little different from my older brothers. But it was an awesome experience being her son. I felt the love and the attention from the very beginning. Some of my earliest memories as her son were with her teaching me how to write and going over my work with me, singing rhymes and songs with her when the school started in our home. What else can I say? She cared about us as her children very deeply, and she wanted us to be the best. So there was no way, as a son of Mrs. Addison, you could come home with a report card and you would be second or third. You had to be first, and if you weren't, there were severe consequences. So I think that shaped my brother and I to always study hard and apply ourselves in everything that we did. And because she loved music so much also, we had to learn the piano, and we had to practice and practice and practice and practice. So my memories are filled with those experiences. And then coming to when the school was being built in its current location, I remember tagging along with her throughout the process. We would come here on Saturday mornings very early, and we would be around with the workmen. And when she buys them their kenke and those kinds of things, she would buy some for us and we would all eat. So those are some of the memories I have as her son. Growing up also, the relationship changed a little bit the more mature I became. So I realized that she began to confide in me more and more, and it became more of a, how would I call it, a partnership of sorts. And yes, so she began to give me more responsibility at the school, and that's how come I think I was able to take over smoothly. We attended Rich Church when I was young, and being her last baby, as she used to call me a lot of times, I used to sit beside her in the choir, and she would always push me and my older brother Charles, to sing. So I remember that in the Rich Church adult choir, I was the youngest member by default, and she was also always pushing me to sing. So I sang a few solos in the choir, and she would always push her children. There was no room for a second in anything. They always had to be the forefront. So that was living with Mrs. Addison.
Some of the challenges were that when the school became big, it was difficult to get a place because Tesano was a developed area already, and getting a virgin land to accommodate the big population of the school was difficult and gave her sleepless nights.
Yes, normally when someone is going off the line, she will call you and give you this song. Yesu waha, Yesu ofie, Yesu waha, Yesu obebi ra. Wo ye bonia obehu, obete, obetro, wo ye bonia orishra, woda.
Unicharles. Yes, Unicharles International School started at home in Tesano. My mom always tells the stories about how the school started with just myself and my older brother. She used to teach us, and whenever neighbors would come in to visit, they were amazed with what my brother and I were able to do by way of reading and using idiomatic expressions, working with numbers and things like that. So that's how Unichild started at home. Neighbors used to bring their children in, and the school began in our outhouse. So as the years went by, the school grew in terms of numbers, and Unichild's at home. It was a lot of fun. A lot of nursery rhymes. What I remember are the nursery rhymes and writing, and some of the old teachers that used to work with her. And when we grew larger than the space in our home, she found a new spot in its current location here, and the name changed to God's Grace International School. Unfortunately, at that time, I had progressed beyond the school, so I attended Christ the King, and then she stayed with God's Grace International School, and she grew the school slowly. We started with one plot, a single plot here, where she built the primary block and the office, and by God's grace and by dint of hard work, the school continued to grow, and so she bought the second plot, which is where the current JHS block is located in the school field. And as the years progressed, she was able to acquire the third block, which is where our Montessori building is located now. So that's how God's Grace has grown over the years.
My sister was a woman of substance, a go-getter, and wanted things to be done the proper way. She was ever ready to extend help to people, whether big or small, rich or poor. She was patient, compassionate, and the sun did not go down on her anger. She was cheerful, lovely, hardworking, and generous. The sisters called her Sister Mansa because she was the third woman of her parents. She was a mother to all the siblings and a pillar of the family, making sure our needs were met. She did not hesitate in helping financially. She was present at all functions, and her house was open to everyone. She loved cooking and would cook and serve us whenever we visited her. Words cannot express how grateful and thankful we are to God, who gave us a wonderful and amazing sister. We are Sonko and Wosaso Oyazinde Ebenya, Mama Joan, Mrs. Addison, Sister Mansa. You will forever remain in our hearts, and may you continue to rest peacefully in the bosom of the Lord. Amen.
So, Mrs. Addison's life, I'll take it from two angles, from the personal aspect and then from the professional aspect, or from work. On the personal aspect, she was a perfectionist and also a risk taker of sorts. So, I mean, God's Grace International School, as it stands now, is a testament to that part of her life. It would have been easy for her to continue as a teacher and live a comfortable life, but to start a school and to grow it with all the sacrifices that it entailed. It means that she was a risk taker and she was a forward thinker. And growing up, being with her as her personal handbag, I think a lot of that rubbed off on me. And so I would humbly call myself a risk taker as well. At least taking over from her at the school here, some might call it a risk of sorts, because professionally I trained as a medical doctor, and taking on the role of a director of academics at the school, it's a sort of risk. Learning from her, being at her side throughout the process as she ran the school, I was able to pick up, and especially pick up on her dream for where she wanted the school to be. I think that's the most important thing. She had a dream for God's Grace International School, and being with her, I saw glimpses of that dream, and she also told me or communicated aspects of that dream to me. And so everything I do here is based on that, what I learned from her and what her dream for the school was. And so I think that is how her life has affected me, at least in God's Grace International School. On the family level or on the personal level, her life has affected me or has impacted me very significantly. I love music, and I love my family very deeply, and the things that I love to do with my family are things that she loved to do with me. So I think that, yes, all in all, through and through, she has nurtured me into who I am today.
I will remember Mrs. Addison for this. When I became the head of the primary department, I thought I could do all things by myself. There was an instance where a boy did not perform, and therefore I decided that I will repeat the boy. I was called by Madam to allow the boy to go to the next class, because for Madam, her motto is no student is stupid. So Madam believed that if the boy is promoted, the boy will be in a position to perform. I went contrary to what Madam told me. So the next day when Madam came to school, Madam asked me to see her in her office. I sat down and Madam told me I should let the boy go to the class ahead. So by going to what Madam asked me to do, later I realized that the boy was performing. And as I'm speaking now, the boy is even in the United States of America, performing excellently.
Yes, Mrs. Addison was very kind, very generous, especially when we are working. That was her office by then. We will be here, and then especially some elderly people will be coming. You know, these days they are coming to ask for something. As soon as Mrs. Addison hear that the person is an elderly person, you just come out from the office and then give something to the person who was very, very generous. And then there was one particular thing that I do remember very well. She said, there's no stupid child. So you come, like this time, you come and see her gathering some children, the weak ones, and teaching them. That's one thing that I remember about Mrs.
Oh, normally before she passed on, when she comes in the morning, she will send for me. Doris, where are you? How was your sleep? Then I will go, Mrs. Addison, my sleep was very good. What about you? This night, did you sleep well? She will say yes. Then I will go like, hey, you are so beautiful. the great Mrs. Addison, the woman who touches every soul. When you smile, every place brightens. I've missed her. You know, before she passed on, we were so close. Every morning, if she comes, before she takes her breakfast, unless I come, Auntie B will come and call me. I'll sit by her, singing, talking to her, and then, Mommy, can you take a spoon? Sometimes I have to pick the spoon and feed her one too. Mommy, you see, it is so nice. It's so nice you to take one and then take a bite of your sandwich. Gradually, she'll eat and then she'll take the cocoa. You know, she was such a great figure. Such a great figure to say in my life and in everybody's life. She touches life. She was so wonderful, you know. So, in fact, I greatly miss her so much, so much. If there is a need, I go to her, I speak with her. Sometimes she also calls me, Doris, this and this and that. What do you think about this? Then I also talk to her about how I feel about the whole thing. She was a great woman. She was a friend to talk to. She's so much alive in my heart. So anytime I mention her name, trying to talk about her, tears begin to flow because she's still alive in my heart.
Things I remember about her was her author during my birthday. Every time I'm celebrating my birthday, she bring me author, and she used to bring me salad. Every morning she's coming from the home, and I'll be there and she'll call, Mimi, my husband I miss her dearly for her good deeds and the impact she made on my life. I'll forever cherish her. She was indeed a lady, and truly Joan of Arc.
Mrs. Addison was a firm believer in the potential of children and in what it takes to develop that potential. So in terms of the potential, she believed that children had to be well-rounded in society in order to fit in and to thrive. So they had to be good mentally, they had to be good physically, emotionally, and in all other facets. So she was a pioneer in that regard. Children at God's Grace International School had to be good academically. They had to have a firm grounding in co-curricular activities. They had to be children of faith. They had to be respectful. They had to be first among their peers. They had to be bold. They had to be visionary. They had to be creative. And so that legacy is something that I really aim to continue in everything that we do here. And I would work very hard to make sure that that legacy endures. And I count on parents and staff, all of us, to work together to make sure that that legacy is fulfilled and it endures.
Hello, my name is Diana Hobson, aka Diana Kumi.
My name is Phyllis Okran.
My name is Reverend Dr. Joseph Basie. I am a pastor with the Assemblies of God Church, Ghana. I was the immediate past regional superintendent for Greater Accra, and also immediate past Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council Chair, a member of the Peace Council.
I first met Mommy Addison at the North Canadian Assemblies of God Church during an event. And then I got to know that she was starting a school. Now, one thing I liked about her was her love for the things of God. To to the extent that she was willing to put it into education. I observed how kind-hearted she is and her resolve to achieve whatever she wanted to do. I also enjoyed the way she worked with her siblings and her children. And so I got closer to the extent that my son attended her school. Not just that, but I got involved at some of the speech day, going to help the children, and her dedication, commitment in educating the child holistically stood out. As we remember her, my prayer is that her legacy will still go on and her good works will still go after her. God richly bless you.
Auntie Joan is and was a mother to me. She doted and sang to me whilst my mother carried me in her womb. And after I was born, she would come to braid my hair, pamper me, carry me and take care of me so my mother could have a break. Her motherly love continued, and whilst I was in primary school, together with her late husband, Mr. Addison, they would both invite me to spend my exeats and midterm holidays with them at their house in Tesano. She was a great influence in my life. She taught me how to bake the most tasty cakes and some dishes. She continued to be a good mother to me, taught me how to be a mother myself, how to be a good wife, and in later years, as a grandmother to my daughter who attended her school, God's Grace International, she personally saw to it that my daughter learned how to fold her clothes, iron, scrub, and be clean, instilling in her the Montessori discipline, which has helped shape her life.
In the year 1990, I met Mrs. Addison, Joan Bannacle, when I was taking my son to be part of the then Uni Charles Preparatory School. It was then just a year old, as it were. Oh, sorry if my memory recalls me, 3 years old. Uni Charles began in 1987, so 3 years into the school, I sent my son to be part of the school. That was when I first met Mrs. Addison. When she came out to meet me, I saw this very tall, beautiful woman, but she had this look that looked quite intimidatory. We exchanged pleasantries, went straight into business, and as we spoke, I realized that contrary to the fact that she had this kind of intimidating look, she was such a very sweet-spirited woman, wonderful at heart, unique in her own way. The journey between Mrs. Addison and myself began from that day. She took a liking to every single student in the school. She loved everybody as if they were her own, and also made sure that the best was given to every individual. No discrimination, no respecter of person, irrespective of your background, irrespective of who your parent were. Mrs. Addison will make sure that the best comes out of you. She was very friendly, firm, and fair. She was a woman of integrity. She will say it as it is, irrespective of who you are. You don't have to cross her path with anything that will trigger her anger. She will spill it on you. And when she talks, you can tell she's fuming with anger and with passion because whatever you did was wrong. And that is Mrs. Addison for you. As the years went on, he brought me up to be the chair for the PTA, and which I served for quite a long time until, as we all know, I had to relocate, and I begged her to take me off because my responsibilities were becoming too many, which she gladly did. I was part of those who went to dedicate while the annex in Bawi. She was so passionate about education that she wanted to do everything to give the younger generation a good foundation.
My name is George Umani Boche. I was first employed in 1998 when the school had then reached basic 6 from class 1 to class 6. So I was asked to handle the class 6 students as their class teacher. I've been teaching since that time up to now.
We're from Margaret Sechi. We're from a woman who 19th October 1996.
Well, I've been in God's Grace School for about 18 years now.
I've been in God's Grace for 4 years now.
My name is Ernestina Kuma, and I've been at Jinjin since 2014, and it has been an incredibly rewarding journey. Our founder, Mrs. Addison, didn't just build a school, but she built a family, and I'm so proud to be part of this family.
Madame was very good during that time when we worked with her. She took all of us as her own children and direct us anytime that we are wrong in the doing of our work. She was the one who trained me. And I do remember, anytime that I'll go to the classroom and come back, she will call me, son, come. You are supposed to do this. You did this. You shouldn't have done that. And today, I've gathered so much experience from the woman. In fact, she was a very good person. A very good one. And I've always guarded against the things that she taught me. Sorry. And today, I'm here as one of the best teachers in God's Grace International School. So many children have passed through my hands. I didn't mention the subjects, mathematics and science. These are the 2 subjects that I was teaching in the school. Now I'm handling mathematics. So most of the graduates from God's Grace International School, I, Boche, handled most of them. And today, most of them are occupying big positions in Ghana. In fact, other teachers who were here with me during that time when she was alive will testify that indeed she was a great, fair, and good woman.
Now, Miss Addison from a room, or from the Maya assistant teacher. Until me, you know, ye Juma. Now, as Miss Addison, who is there. Or your about Tampa, a woman, Summa, Adoye, Wonimu. Or ye, on Chrim, be Biaba Kubiara, or Pedenimba was nature. Na you go classroom or catch a there only ze on pair teaching you or you only have for or ya paget name or pet teacher or bono wasn't a dream bearer or baby bearer or get involved. Ain't am I see finish and today now you classroom or chain what they ye and you be then what's the teacher ye a best at the tra and what there you come up from an buano. Now you want to start with the rhymes. You want to tell you, I'm a family when you are J. When your dog with the Shiaze, it's Oba, on my yaton drum. Ya boy, some, ya hoo, ya ye jazzy, Mamma Famous Woyan J with the Shiaze. What's that chair there? After my wife, if you were ban, when you share. Or ya ain't being part when you remember when we there or local school. Into no. Say ya to you ya na ya che won letters awobosua dem time no po no na dem want to sorry on bado nti na ya ka abcd na echiri owu there Over there, also sides in Yasis son, a Bibia's son, no catch a dog book school. No way could she Montessori, Abrabonibi, into Yamina Drum or Quale, no bad nor catch a there. Since Yalano, Bibia's son, into your letters, nay, you see ABC Nazin, there's a sound also back home, ama with the moon, into no, nay, started. A sounds B sounds bow, C sounds curl. The mano of boy, a mamma from Manu so was saying, ma one construction of short sentences, no, was the say if I am, you there, no, I am. Into the letter say in a land, they constructed simple sentences into I am a boy, I am a girl. Come, the Mizamini now, we see feed the most sounds now, yes, the bed. Na the shame. Na Mrs. Addison so oh yeah na dwen there the mama from a wayan were there why then who be biara it was no oh yeah not yam fa tofi na aze oh yeah nyipa oh mama mapa oh yeah mama or draw ma from ho or draw nyipa ho today you na sorry ba obey your tofi obey your biscuit Oba nzama yeba mama framan amama fram wenyi agin we suade nso mama framan wo suade ye anwona wo fani nsem wo school he biara obele yi ho ma wo wi school o kwa ni school pom na aze no otse fie kwa no wa ye kwasampanyi wo nyina no wo nsem bibi wo je wo zimu wo yaze nara Mrs. Addison or your batampa or yaze na so
Mrs. Addison was a good woman. She was loving, caring, and then a woman of integrity.
I was privileged to meet her in person, and I've had these personal experiences with her. She was someone who pushes people out of their comfort zones.
As soon as I came here and I saw Mrs. Addison, I was highly excited, and she welcomed me with happiness, and I was escorted to the administration, and she interviewed me, and that very day I was employed as a security officer. That was the first time I saw Mrs. Addison.
She encouraged us and helped us to reach our full potentials. She was a woman with a great foresight. Her prudence was top-notch. I've had personal experience with her when she gave me a paintbrush and some paint and told me, I know you don't know how to paint, but go ahead, paint those shelves. You can do anything you put your mind to. And I was able to paint the shelves with her encouragement. This is the person she was, encouraging and pushing us out of our shells.
Say I dey me the kind of pan e dwa no pan me beduma say na ya me sim ma ne duane no na obi san bi anope ya me divan adia me didi a e na ekun ho nti na ma sa de ya na me ta de kan pa nti sa de no kwa be ye me di e wadwuma mu bi me didi a ama divan a nti ya me ta de sa de ne kan pa.
Mrs. Addison was my auntie. I was in the Volta region and she brought me to Accra to work in the school for 4 years now. She was a caring person I've ever known. So I love her. I miss her for her advice, her smiles, and her loving and her love she shared with us all.
I've learned a lot of Mrs. Addison when I came to God Grace International School. She was interested in flower and entertained visitors. And also she was very interested in music. She will make sure that she will give all the staff of God Grace International School Xmas gift.
Simona ordena kumadonyi de osi de mafuma woru kofia e wode wo hu de woru kofie na wo mu yankofo so mu de woru kofie nti o che de ye che mafame. Goodbye to you my friends, goodbye to you my friends. Always remember that I say goodbye to you, my friends.
I remember her for the money she's been giving me. The money she's been giving me every month. I really miss that, and may her soul rest in perfect peace.
Azza muzika me mama pa ide. Oyo batanya se enti bibia se na kwade nchen a. Onda nature fa ma wo. De nyina lo fro. Na abane nchen abade na ehian. Abade na pede me yemon. Wo ade chrem. Nti o ka che me de se ebia se me charge bibi chrem odwa. Mo za member ne nchen na onche mazenyi wodo. Nti no de nyina se me be subject bi na mental sa mo kwane ho na makwaja fotu makwaje mese wo kire no. Mama so be ba na me kire a no adna e perfect. Nti me kan o sometimes o na mo ra ho sometimes se me bibi na se mo hu azi wo na yi wodo na mo ra ho musu da oh me mami o wa hene me mami wa ha nkesi sie wa che mazi na yi wodo nanso onma ko wa on pass papa na opem wa sei baba fe mami akoya ya nti mama ka che Nyankopon de baby bere o te me mami esibera omo ni baby papa na onte de nyinara na ma yeso da achi bi yekodi ekohiem ya to ehusi da she Kristo nyimonyam.
Mrs. Addison has been a mother. She trained me, she guided me, and if today I'm a Catholic priest, the foundations of my education was built by this great woman, this great soul, at the then Unichild's Nursery School, at a residence at Tesano. Her husband, Mr. Carlos Kato Addison, had been the business partner of my late dad. And so the family has been so close to us, and may the virtues she left continue to remain in my life and that of her children and all those who knew her. May the faith she professed continue to grant her eternal life. And if today I'm a Catholic priest, all I can say is, Mrs. Addison, thank you very much.
My first contact with Mrs. Addison was about 30 years ago when we met in Peckham at Shoreway Church there. And after that, we met few times. And our relationship grew stronger when her late brother-in-law, Brother Bafu, came to live in Ghana. And we became close because Brother Bafu was constantly in the church. And this made Mrs. Addison several times to come to the North Kaneshi Church. And one thing that I saw with this woman was her humility. I mean, it amazes you that a woman of her caliber had so much respect for everybody she came in contact with. She knew how to smile at you. She knew how to behave in the presence of people. She was a unique woman, a woman of grace. So I wasn't surprised at all when she later named her school God's Grace International School. She was a woman of grace, and she had paid her dues. She left a legacy, a woman of wisdom and a woman committed to the Lord Jesus Christ. Several times I was talking to Mrs. Addison and she would say, Pastor, my faith in God is unwavering. And so I know she's made a transition from this earth, but she's never missing. And we are celebrating her rather than sorrowing for her. And so I bless the family. As a pastor, I speak into all of you that the grace of God will cover you,
that the Lord will sustain the family. And then this legacy of God's grace will continue.
Mrs. Addison, a woman I've come to know as my sister, who calls me my brother. She has been with me for years as a true sister, selfless, empathetic, kind, generous in every way. Several times I've stayed in the school flat up there, free of charge. She was so kind, giving to everybody and embracing everybody. She wasn't that type who was boastful or who was resentful in any way, but she was really living her life where mankind is important, where the poor is uplifted, where the needy is fed, where everybody is valued. She valued people in every way. And I am so pleased to speak on her behalf, not only as a human being, but as a pastor, looking at her and her belief in God and the way she conducted her life, embracing everybody. So ambitious though, so moving in the way that she was astute, and she was very good in her business, and yet she offered herself voluntarily and kindly to all humanity. Mommy, sister, Nyame nhyira wo bebree no mfo wo nsie man and I. Nyame nhyira mo ina. Bye bye.